So I grabbed an article from the New Yorker the other day about how the alt-right is having a branding war right now. So essentially we have two different movements within the alt-right community. And it's a really long article. You guys should go check it out. So I grabbed a bunch of stuff from it, and I wanted to talk to you about it here. Because when Richard Spencer, the guy that got punched at the inauguration, sucker punched by the Nazis, and it caused everybody in this community, everybody in the intersectionality community to be like, are we okay punching Nazis? And then, there was podcast after podcast after podcast from people that are much smarter than me talking about this stuff. So anyway, once Richard Spencer kind of took hold of the alt-right thing that's been going on, let's see. The phrase alternative right has been critiqued on several grounds that it's too vague, and that's kind of the point. But it's been co-opted now by white nationalism. So they've gone from wearing wife beaters and having like the red laces and red suspenders to wearing business suits and having fuck you hairdos that piss me off for some reason. I hate his little swooshy hairstyle that he's got going on, where it's like Adolf Hitler trying to brush his hair out of the way all the fucking time. It's like, I hate it. So
my boss has pretty much the exact same. Oh, though his is nicer styled. It kind of goes swoopy back. But he is not horrible. So I mean, my boss is pretty great actually. So
some people can pull it off, but not him. I'm sorry.
So real quick side note, we actually had a big debate at work about men blow drying their hair, and my two guys that I work closely with, they were like, giving another guy so much shit because he does it. And the other guy goes, I don't even have to say anything. It was so great. The other guy goes, I don't blow dry my hair because I want my boys to know that I'm a man. And my one coworker goes, wait, do you think that only women can take care about their appearance? Like, he totally bam. And I was like, I don't even have to say a word. It was great. It was very satisfying.
So for this article
nothing
here,
nothing wrong with blow drying. God damn
it cuts down on time. So anyway, this the alternative right is a euphemism for white supremacy, pretty much saying here. The definition has shifted over time, both inside and outside the movement, such that for a while it was impossible to tell whether any two people who referred to the alt-right were referring to the same thing. During the presidential campaign, the term came to denote several intersecting phenomena: anti-feminism, opposition to political correctness. Oh, so people in the skeptic community, we'll get to that later. Online abuse, more of that. Belligerent nihilism, conspiracy theories, and inflammatory internet memes. So everybody that was on 4chan/POL, if you guys know what that one is. Some pro-Trump activists adopted this big tent definition, allowing any youthful, quote, edgy critique of establishment conservatism to be considered alt-right. But a core within the movement has always insisted on a narrower conception of the alt-right, one that was inextricably linked to white separatism. And Richard Spencer's at the forefront of that, the guy that wants a peaceful genocide, or whatever the fuck he calls it, where he's like, we're just going to say black people and Asian people and everybody else, just go back to where you came from. That's his whole...
Then you go back to where you came from, you motherfucker.
Go the fuck back to Europe if you think that's where you're from. Like, most of those people would be like, I'm American. I've been American for a long fucking time. So anyway, the article continues. It says, now the boundaries are set. Spencer and his allies have won the branding war. They own the alt-right label. Their right-wing opponents are aligning themselves against it, working to establish a parallel brand. And it has become increasingly clear that this is not a mere rhetorical ploy, but a distinction with a difference. So, beginning in this year, the 2017s, the divisions were becoming clear, at least to those within the pro-Trump movement. In January, a guy by the name of Gavin McInnes was a founder of the pro-Western fraternal organization called Proud Boys. So keep an eye out for that so you can hear about this. And
their creativity is astounding.
Yeah. Aren't they?
It's moving, really, in its complete lack of subtlety.
Oh, yeah. We got subtlety out the asshole for these people. So the person that wrote,
in your face!
The person that wrote this article said, should I refer to you as alt-right? And he's like, no, swigging from a can of Budweiser. They care about the white race. We care about Western values, which to me is another dog whistle for white race.
It is. Yeah.
It is. Western values. That's so stupid.
Yeah. And this
Can't
is
even-
a view that's been come to be known as civic nationalism as opposed to white nationalism, or as some people are calling it, alt-lite. And they hate it when you call it that because they're like, we don't want to be light. No, we're not going to be. That's not cool.
Yeah, I agree with them. It's not light.
No.
It's far.
No.
It's just as bad. Just
Yeah.
as bad.
No, yeah, it is.
So anyway, for a while, alt-right was the perfect catch-all for the anti-establishment conservatism, and this came from a person that they were talking about too, called Lucian Wintrich, who was interviewed on the New Yorker Radio Hour, and it's interesting that these people can be. It's like Milo Yiannopoulos having a thing for people of color, especially the people that he dates, and it's like at the same time they're white nationalists, and it's like, how the fuck does that work out in your brain? I don't know how that works. So
what they're doing is they're doing a genocide of culture.
Mm.
They're co-opting anything of color that they like and calling it Western.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, which is a nonsense descriptor. Honestly,
It is. Yeah.
It's absolutely nonsense. And because I mean, anyway, just learn your history, people. But they co-opt it and they steal it, they gentrify it, and then they demand that all the parts that they don't like that these people of color conform to. So they feed off of and demand what is the word? Conformity. They demand conformity to this idea. So it is it's a genocide of idea. So it's still just as bad. It is still demanding a system of theft and a system of powers where the white cis straight man gets to be on top.
Well, you goddamn liberals bringing race into it, and
then and then what they do is call it their own.
Yeah.
Well, they steal from everyone beneath them.
Yeah.
But then the other ones, the white nationalists, are just going. They're benefiting from all of the advancements of all these other groups, but then they're going, now leave.
Yeah.
So I mean, neither is better.
So
neither is better.
I just find it funny that these people that, like I was talking about here, the Wintrich guy, he has Jewish ancestry and a Latino boyfriend, and they were sharing the Spencer getting punched memes with people just as happy as like any other, person that like I shared the fuck out of that because I found it hilarious. Yeah. It's not saying that I endorse the fact that he got punched in the face. I'm not saying, hey, go out and punch Nazis. I'm just saying that was funny as fuck. A guy that's advocating genocide got punched in the fucking face. I found it hilarious. But this Wintrich guy said that a lot of us are still frustrated that Spencer ruined the term for the rest of us. So a lot of the people that are, not as white nationalist as Richard Spencer, and they're this pro-Western kind of thing, which I'll admit is a slightly lighter shade of the same blackness that these people are spewing. At least they hate Richard Spencer as much as the rest of us do. I'll give him that. The last quote that I have here from the article that I saved is from Jack Murphy, who's working on a book called From Democrat to Deplorable. And this guy was standing because there was somebody was holding a rally, and the fact that they invited Richard Spencer caused the rally to split into two, like different camps. And so like it was like a short walk between the two events that were going on.
Oh my
and
God.
This Jack Murphy guy was standing there watching the speakers, and he was shaking his head, and he said, so much of this could be solved if these guys just got girlfriends. I thought that was the best fucking quote.
But they are abusers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes, they are.
So when they get girlfriends, they destroy them.
But I find it funny that these people that go out of their way to point out how everybody else is a cuck and a beta and everything like that probably are themselves a bit that way. It's like, I think the lady doth protest too much.
Yes. These are men who are
do.
terrified. These are men who are petrified, who are unable to make any human connections, are most definitely not satisfying their sexual needs.
I need to get a trilby just for the show. I got to start doing it and tip in the hat and milady.
Milady.
Yeah.
And I hate that because...
Nice guys finished last, Felicia.
Yeah, these are the guys who describe themselves as nice guys.
I'm nice
These
guys.
are nice guys.
Don't know.
And feminists are ruining women. Women just
Yeah.
want to be taken care of. And that's
Mhm.
what I would do if I had a girlfriend.
Mhm.
Oh, she'd never want for anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, except for maybe like an orgasm.
Maybe just once in a while. Look, think of her first,
Hey,
okay?
And if you can't
How
get
about
her
that?
there, enable it so she can get there.
Yes.
Yes.
Encourage communication and exploration and sexuality on grounds of
Uh-huh.
equality.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
just because she doesn't want your dick doesn't mean she doesn't want a toy.
Batteries are okay. If you
Communication.
can't do it,
Buy her a Sibian.
Communication and vulnerability are required for both of you to have satisfying sexual gratification.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which means that you can't be an asshole.
Or unless you're
I
Richard
have-
Spencer and then get
what
kicked
I-
out of your own gym.
what I find really amusing here is they're essentially accusing not just Richard Spencer, but Richard Spencer and his
His ilk. Yeah.
ilk of co-opting the alt-right, but they're not.
They just
were
took the
always
mask
there.
off. They took the pointy hat mask
Right.
off.
Right. So they're not co-opting. You are just maybe realizing that you got stuck into a white nationalist, a white supremacist, racist group.
No,
Oh,
it's
we can't be
and-
that. No, we're just alternative Republican. That's what we are. We're,
Right.
we're
right.
alternative
No,
right
no,
wing.
no.
Maybe
We're
it's
not
that
racist.
the Republican Party. Maybe it's that the Republican Party is super crazy, sexist, and racist, and that it starts at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But no, guys, no. We just got that lady in Georgia elected. You know, we're not sexist. We got one. Sorry, I'm sure they have more than one because we have Mia Love and
just fucking.
They got a color
just
one. They got a color one. Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
how they fucking treat them. Once they get them elected into office, look at how they treat them.
Mm-hmm.
What has Mia Love actually been able to do?
dodge every town hall. That's what she's been able to do.
They fucking parade her out every time they need to.
Every time they need fundraising.
But what
Right.
exactly have they actually let her do?
No, they don't let her do anything. And any policy that she's brought
Nothing.
forward, they
Mhm.
shut down. Anytime that she starts to get uppity, they tell her
Quiet
that
you.
they're going to withdraw their support. Like they that's what they pressure these women into conforming. They change their hair, they change their clothing, they give them speech lessons, and then they tell them that they have to be a part of their ideology, or they don't get to be a part of it.
The bank's
And it's-
closed.
Yeah, they
Right.
use these women as props.
Right. And a great example is Mia Love a while ago had a bill that she drafted that she put forward, and that bill was that it was a single issue proposal.
Yeah.
Like it did away with the fact that you could attach unrelated amendments to legislation.
Yeah, and I agreed with her on this one. I'm like, yes, let's
It
have
was
every
a
bill be a
fantastic
one-line
idea.
thing. Yeah.
Right.
I agree. That's
Right.
actually a great
if
idea.
If there's going to be an amendment, the amendment has to be related to the issue.
Yeah.
That was it.
You can't throw pork in there. You can't,
Right.
add riders and lines that, defund Planned Parenthood, even though it's like
Right.
funding for
Yeah.
roads and shit.
Right. Where did that go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere at all. They couldn't get it out of committee at all. The
And,
only reason anybody heard about it is because someone from her office actually sent out a release.
Well, she's had moments of sparkle and moments of feminism even,
Mhm.
and she has these moments where you're like, there's a reasonable human being in there.
Oh, they'll beat that out of her soon enough.
Yeah.
But every time she's ever tried to
Mhm.
fight the status quo,
Right.
she is shut down internally because Democrats will be like, yes, keep talking, and then it's like all of a sudden she's poof, gone.
Right, right. No, I'd love to grab her and just shake her and like, look, you're in the wrong house. You're in the wrong party.
There's a reasonable person in there. You're in an abusive relationship. You're in an abusive relationship with the public party. We are here for you. There is healing on this side.
Look, you might not be the most awesome person in the world, but
you're not that bad.
Look,
you're not Mitch McConnell.
I know there's a little bit of shred of humanity in there. You know, aside from the fact that you pushed for a bunch of housing in your community to be built without, proper permitting and things like water, but that's okay. That's okay. You were making money
Those
off of it.
people are shit out of luck too. That's too bad.
Galaxy.